am Landon Brigel, coming at you from the privacy, the safety, and the sanctuary of my beloved cousin Lori and her foster child and estate here in North Carolina. At the time of this recording, it is Friday, April 26, 2024. Woo! It feels so good to be alive. Woo! Oh my goodness. I tell you what, whenever I was a kid, I would sometimes just sit there and daydream about being sick so I could stay home from school, you know? And then whenever that finally happened, I was like, oh man, no, what was I thinking? I don't ever want to feel sick enough to stay home from school ever again. Because whenever I'd been sick, I remember just laying, you know, on my mattress, just being like, ugh. Oh my God, it was horrible. And then the beauty of it was the contrast it would bring between feeling so miserable and you're sick and tired of being miserable to the contrast of being awake, being filled with vitality, filled with sunshine, to have the energy to go run and skip and frolic in the valley, and then look at that mountain like, I'm gonna climb you today, buddy. You know, having that vital life force. And then because, you know, whenever we're kids, I remember people would say, well, at least you have your health. And I'm like, really? Health? That's a given. Whoa, whoa, talk about an unexperienced psychological mindset. No, your health is not a given. It is a privilege. I mean, it's a given, yes, but then whenever you factor in the environment, factor in the temptations, factor in the baseline of geographic locations, that's whenever it could either benefit or hinder. So, whenever, you know, the Bible says that our body is our temple, I tell you what, I have been giving much thought to that these past few days. I finally understand and overstand it, that, you know, we are spiritual creatures having a physical experience. And so if you want to optimize that physical experience for the duration that you are incarnate, you want to take care of this temple. It's like a high skyrise. It's like a high-rise skyscraper, you know, building filled with intricacies of different compartments and different modes of vitality. You want to nurture that, because wouldn't you rather be like the Taj Mahal? I mean, I don't even know what it looks like, but just the name of it just speaks grandeur and elegance. And, you know, we can still have a fortifying life, you know, in a rundown shack, sure. But if you have the forthright of being able to make your decision in how you maintain your body, you don't want to run it down, you know, because then you're talking, okay, years of sugar, years of alcoholism, or years of illicit street substance, and how that interplays into your vessel. Because how you treat your vessel is the output of how well you're able to navigate through life. And so, back to whenever I was a kid, I'm all like, oh my God, how could I ever think that? And it was a good experience because it gave me the leverage to begin to build the experience base on how vital it is to be healthy. And when somebody says, at least you have your health, baby, that is like the pinnacle of success is your health, because your health dictates your ability to have healthy relationships. Your health dictates your ability to make upright decisions. Your health dictates your ability to, just keep swimming, And if if you just keep swimming, and then you want to turn around and do like a backward somersault in the water, and then flip up, and then do maybe a lateral, breaststroke, and then showboat into like a butterfly, breaststroke, and then, round it off with just floating on your back, kicking. That is the hallmark of maintaining the upright virtue of healthy living. And then just keep swimming, but you know what? I'm going to shimmy my way through it, and then undulate my way, and then do everything in between, and do some fire flow along the way too. And then the virtue of living healthy. And and another thing too was, whenever I was a kid, I thought it was so cool just to spin around and spin around and spin around. And then my mom was like, don't do that, you'll get sick. And I'm all like, So I keep spinning around and spinning around. And then later on, my mom's prophecy of you'll get sick, it came true. I remember just being like lying on the floor like, why did I do that? My mom told me not to do that, and I did it anyway. Vertigo challenges. And then that's one thing about life, is that health is quite the leveler. Because I've heard stories of, like, for instance, somebody being so wealthy and they were sicker than the dog. And it's like, with all the wealth that they had, they couldn't just buy the health, because they were sure trying to, and it really wasn't leveraging them anywhere. And then it was more like, well, I guess whenever it was like the frame of thought was, whenever they would pass, it would be like, well, X, Y, and Z would be fighting over their estate, and they could see that much, but where they were going, none of it was going to help them. And then health can be taken and can be fortified, but just because you're healthy now doesn't mean you're going to stay healthy. Because whenever your number comes up, it can just come up so violently or just so insidiously. Just like they say, high blood pressure is an insidious killer, because you think you're fine, and by the time your high blood pressure starts to show, it was like 10 years ago would have been the prime time to fix it. Because now when it shows, it's not that it's too late, but what you could have done would have worked so much better 10 years prior, And then I have been thinking a lot about this, because I've had about vertigo, vertigo, onset of dizzy spells. Oh my God. And then come to find out, I believe it was probably augmented by some physical conditions, such as I'm always drinking tea. And then now I'm all like, dehydration could play into it, because vertigo, from what I've been reading, is more of a symptom of something. And then come to find out, there's a thing called spiritual vertigo. I'm all like, oh my God. It can also be a 5D ascension of sorts, because there's been a lot of talk about spiritual ascension, right? And when we get signs and symptoms of that, I really did not give much value or credit to it, because I'm a novice and I'm still learning, and I still have one foot in one world and the other foot, in the 5D world. And I just, I'm still awakening also. And then so I would be like, okay. But I was very, very graced to have met this wonderful chick, man. She was freaking awesome. But I had some time, like 2020, this weird, like, pain. It was like, I would say chest pain, but not like cardiac wise. It was more like musculoskeletal. But the way it came up was just so weird. And then she knew what she was very plugged in. She was like, honey, that's a symptom of all this cosmic dust. I'm all like, oh, well, that makes sense because it was just so atypical. But with this ascension with vertigo, for me, it was like, oh my God. I only had vertigo once. And it was probably like, I don't know, ballpark at 6 years ago. And it was a sudden onset at night in sleep, it woke me up. And then the room was like spinning. It was like, those sit and spins? Oh my God, how many of us played with a sit and spin? Oh my God, how many of us bought a sit and spin for our children or somebody gifted it to them, And it was like being on a sit and spin without the sitting or spinning. It was like a sudden onset of the room, just like... Have you ever been on a gravitron? Oh my God! Look up that gravitron, Gravitron. Oh my God! So a gravitron is one of those carnival rides where it's shaped like a disc, and then everybody where you go inside. It looks like a disc, like a little UFO, and then around the perimeter of the circumference, are like slots. And then that's where you stand. You stand in a slot. And then whenever the gravitron kicks up, the platform you're standing on gives out. And all of a sudden, you're like pasted to the wall because of the G-force. And then, so the trick to that is to keep your head back. But the moment you lift up your head, that's when everything starts spinning, and a lot of people get sick after that. Shout out to Spring, Texas. I understand you guys are having your crawfish festival? I grew up going to that. My children, I brought them when they were children going to that. And that's where I experienced the gravitron. But my takeaway from that is that, just keep your head down. Just keep your head down. Because I survived it the first time, and my friends are like, we're going to go on it again. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to go on it again. Because I was like a late teenager. And then that last time took me out. I had to go lay down in the car until the others were done. And then but it helps and it served me now. So whenever, like a few days ago, what happened to me is why I hadn't been posting. Oh my God, it just took me out. I had serious attack of vertigo. And then so it was like, okay, so you look at the physical symptoms. My cousin, she treated me very well. She asked me if I needed anything. I so appreciate that. And she took me to go get some medicine. So I got some diphenhydramine, and then I also learned online that, you might be deficient in iron and vitamin D and B12. So I got all that. and dehydration could be a contributing factor. So it's just water for me here on out. I'm like, oh my God, my takeaway is so many wonderful things, but now I'm like, just water. I don't even want to visit that vertigo ever again. It's life-changing. It is debilitating. It's like, oh my God, whenever the room starts to spin around and you didn't do anything to incur that except just lie there to begin with. Oh my God, it's like, how can you function? What if you were driving? What if you had to get up? When you have to get up and go, clock in for your work? How are you going to survive if you're battling vertigo with every step of your life? Because, oh my God, whenever I got up to go finally, I'm like, I have to use the bathroom. I was so holding off on that, and I was so thirsty. And then so I'm like, okay, I got up to use the bathroom, and it reminded me of my little girl. I mean, Ollie, when she was a little girl, she was doing the sit and spin, and whenever she got up from it and took a few steps, her eyes kept spinning. It was the creepiest thing ever, and she was like walking like misaligned, you know, like, oh my God. So when I got up to finally use the bathroom, I was like walking misaligned because the vertigo was so intense. It was horrible. It was so horrible. And then it's like, okay, you find your sweet spot and you just stay there so it just doesn't trigger another bout of woo. I'm like, and the room's spinning. It's horrible. It's so horrible. And then so, come to find out, that could be a spiritual symptom. And then so I was like, is this one of those witchy attacks, which would really surprise me because I have like an amazing spirit team. I mean, amazing spirit team. If Jesus was alive here walking around and he had his bodyguards, that's the kind of spirit team I have. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's why the spell work don't work on me, amongst other things. And then so, oh my goodness. And then so I'm like, I realized that your energy can play a role in it. I'm still learning it, but I also noticed that even when I wasn't moving, whenever I would get like really happy and excited, you know, and then feel my energy mount, there goes the room spinning again. I'm all like, oh, so energy, for me, in my case, energy has a great impact, which probably was augmented by the dehydration, which cured me forever. Because now I'm like flushing my kidneys on the regular with all the water drinking, considering all I ever fed myself was like a lot of tea. But nonetheless, it goes back to our health, our state of being. And then so what it also taught me was that, you know, I'm a pretty healthy individual. I'm rather athletic. And, man, I don't have a lot of pictures to show for it. But if I were going to pick a new handle, I would have the word sinew in it. S-I-N-E-W, because I'm rather sinuous in my legs and my arms and in my back. Because I worked out all the time. Anytime I had a problem or issue with, like, this girl was in the gym, just like letting it melt away. And that was pre-COVID. And then with the onset of COVID, all you gang stalking lovelies out there that were just so ready to make bank off the detriment of somebody else by playing your prostituting psyop games, you know, made it pretty difficult for the rest of us upright individuals. Your days come to an end, oh nanny nana boo boo. It's so true. And then so, but nonetheless, I'm finally well enough to actually put on some makeup because, like I said, I'm a self-proclaimed painted lady, and I'm not a lady of the night, despite all of the cantankerous, slanderous character assassinations upon me and all the idiots that went along with it. I'm like, don't get me started. That's a whole other video for there. But, yeah, I'm like, you can tell how well I am if I don't do my makeup at all. Because I'll do my makeup when I'm at home by myself. For nothing else, because I love doing that. That's just me. That's my persona. That's my character. That's who I am. That is my core. I couldn't wait to wear makeup ever since I was a kid. And then whenever we go to the grocery store and I had my allowance, I'd be like, Mommy, I'm going to go look around. I'll be back. I go sneak off to the makeup section, go get my makeup, go check out, and then come back like, hey, I didn't do nothing. At 10 years old. I love to wear makeup. And I still do. And then so, yeah, I haven't even put on my makeup since I got the onset of vertigo. So I don't know. I think I'm day 6 now, where I'm finally working it off. Oh my God. So, but with the vertigo, yeah, that's related. In my case, it could be spiritual vertigo. And, That's why I haven't posted any videos. So I've just been taken down by that pretty hard. But it goes to also show, for everybody who thinks they have their health in check, appreciate it while you can, especially if you are one of those gang stalkers that have been running the cesspool, that have been allowing yourselves to be tooled with all of the temptations that the insidious smallpox-bearing government that say, here, do this for your PSYOP assignment, because really it's a Nazi origin. Your sham of your gang stalking has roots in Nazi origin of historical ideology. Let's get it up. Far be it for your targeted individual to teach you gang stalking mongers with your PSYOP assignments. I'm like, okay, if you're practicing if you're getting coached to do the PSYOP assignments, you're not going to rise higher than the lowest vibratory frequency that you emulate. And if you think you're going to heaven, you've been duped. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Because you're acting out with freaking Nazis, bitches. You're enabling the crushing and the slow dagger and the Zetzer song of somebody else. You all are contributing to murder. Oh, just because it was a PSYOP assignment. Those are crimes against humanity. Just because it was a PSYOP assignment. That right there is a hate crime. Just because it was a PSYOP assignment. Bitch, that was an organized hate crime that coached you to do your bullshit. So, just because you're healthy today does not mean you cannot get sideswiped by the universe and find yourself lying on the gurney somewhere. Just because you're healthy today doesn't mean you're not going to get some freak diagnosis of how this happened. I mean, like 1 minute they're like breathing really well, and next minute we see them hooked up to a ventilating machine. Then your next question should be, how ethical is the respiratory therapist? And your bigger question should be, how ethical is your pulmonologist? Because that matters. Because this Luciferian business, this satanic, ritualistic, demonic ritual of practicing black magic, death magic, and and satanic sacrifices of people, that matters. Because it's a whole new world order of infrastructure that has burgeoned to beyond volcanic eruption status, as evidenced by, well, I guess you'd have to experience it to see it. I'm sure I could figure that one out. But, yeah, man. Okay, here's an as evidenced by. There's a news story about, 130 bodies in the backyard of a police department. No names, but they're cataloged with numbers. My question is, do they have their organs? And it's a police department. Now, the police department has been infiltrated with all the satanic covens that are so demonic and, lackluster of integrity and ain't got no ethics and morality no more. It's hand in hand with the medical department, the medical world, people. Hello? How do I know? Well, I've been gang stalked by doctors, been gang stalked by certified emergency room nurses, RNs, been gang stalked by others on the clock with directed energy weapons. But don't take my word for it. I'm simply reporting my experiences. If you care to believe it, not believe it, it's not my business. I shared my experience. So just because you're healthy today does not mean the good Lord will not allow you to succumb to sickness at any time, at any place. It could happen if I could snap. If I could snap. I can't snap. It could happen just like that. So, How do I know? Well, I was experiencing it. Albeit it was vertigo for me. But God forbid you get the smackdown with vertigo that is not any relation to any spiritual awakening, and you get stuck there. That's enough to make you want to gorge your own eyes out, I promise. Because, boing, 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 boing. And the funny thing is that you can probably gorge your eyes out and your head's still going to go boing, 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 boing. And that's the centrifugal G-forces of the world spinning around you. Everything's spinning around you. And how long is it going to be like that until it stops? Because, for instance, there's the hantavirus. Hantavirus is a virus that's a contagion from rat feces. I mean, they're around. They're just around. And then sometimes, your environment of your extrinsic geography, such as, let's say, bayou behind you, and they all gather over there. No matter what you do, they just find a way in. Yeah, hantavirus. And then all of a sudden, boom, within 48 hours, you're clawing for life on a ventilation machine filled with pulmonary edema. Anything could happen to any of you gang stalkers. So you better hold on. Your ride's going to get started. Because if you have earned coin, flip blood coin, of your demonic practices, of your psyop assignments, honey, you're not going to heaven. You're not going to heaven, honeys. And if you think you are, you're duped. You're duped. I would fix that if I were you. Hey, no shade. Nobody's perfect here. I'm not perfect. That's how I learned so well. But the question is, do we want to stay in the camp of Sodom and Gomorrah and keep running around with the pigs of Babylon? Or do we want to cross over and hit reset and get right with ourselves, repent, and get back on track and stay the course and take some souls along with you and rededicate yourself to serving the light and telling the truth? Or did you just want to keep on running around as a goddamn freaking pig of Babylon? Because that matters. So, yeah, that's why I haven't been on lately. Is because this vertigo has been, I never experienced it to this magnitude ever. But it's been so intense. It scared me straight and away from carbonated drinks. No more carbonated drinks. I've already given them up more or less. Haven't had a Coke or a Pepsi in, I don't know, 2-3 months. No, maybe 2 months. Something like that. And now I'm all like, no more tea for me. I don't want that vertigo to come back. It's been awful. Awful, I tell you. Awful. And so hydration for me. I'll take my vitamins too. My vitamin D, my vitamin B12, and some of that iron, please. Thank you very much. And throw in some cucumber because I love the taste of cucumber water. Maybe some orange in it and stuff, but that's it. So hopefully this video finds you vibrant, vivacious, full of life vitality, ready to conquer the world. When you get up to do it, you still have that energetic level rather than, okay, I think I'm going to sit down now. Because that matters. Please be good to your temple so you have a wonderful incarnation experience. Because at the end of the day, we are spiritual creatures having a physical experience. So, but at the time of this experience, you had to have done something great and wonderful to even be an incarnated person at this very time, historically speaking, not just on our planet, but throughout the galaxy and cosmos. Because guess what? They're watching. They're watching. We are their soap opera, believe it or not. It's kind of, it would creep me out. Not anymore, because I got closed circuit TV watching me. What's up, guys? Y'all still punk me. Y'all still punk me by using the puppets close to me, tooling their fool asses. Whatever. Because you all will pay for that. That's why I pray for God's perfect will, because, the Trojan horse, it was like, beware of Romans bearing gifts. I mean, I'm all like, what was the lofty pay up and bribe for taking in a targeted individual just to work them over on the side? I mean, that's what you homeless shelters do. Y'all are fool-ass bitches. Cutthroat. So, I'd imagine you guys would be on the first of the list of sudden onset of vertigo for the rest of your lives, or whatever. Mine is a spiritual ascension. But anyways, hopefully everybody's happy, healthy, and well. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been Patricia and Landon Regali, She's Little Flower, coming at you from the privacy, the safety, and the sanctuary of my beloved cousin Lori and her foster child here in North Carolina. Peace. Bye for now.